So, Thierry, the 14th edition of the World Policy Conference is nearly over. What are your main takeaways of this edition?
As you said, this is the 14th, really the 13th, but the 14th edition of the WPC. And what struck me most is that the conference was never as good in terms of the fundamental objectives of the WPC as this one. The objective are to focus on middle powers, discussing the great issues of the world through their own eyes and not through the lenses of the superpowers of the day. And this, I think, was extremely successful, and all the countries, the many countries which are represented here, spoke in a genuine, natural way, shared their difficulties, their views in a common spirit. And that, I think, is a great success in itself, but it also reflects the reality of the world today, which is a little bit at loss.
What about the lens? You mentioned that word, the lens from being here. Is there a specific Arabic lens?
Well, yes, because, you know, when I meet some personalities in Paris in my office, or when I meet the same persons in their own place abroad, we have different sort of discussions, you know, so the location has an impact. And here in the Emirates, there is, even if we are in a hotel, a large hotel, but nevertheless in a hotel, there is a certain atmosphere, yes, and which is reflected, I think, in the debates. It's not untrue, yeah.
And there were a lot of local personalities also.
Yes, in fact, that was a great, not surprise, but a great plus of this edition. There were many high-level, very high-level personalities of the Emirates who came and participated in the debates and who spoke, I would say, much more openly and genuinely than I would have expected beforehand. And that, I think, was a great contribution. Now, for instance, this idea that was expressed several times by the Emirati authorities, that it is very important in the Arab world, but not only in the Arab world, to try and understand better how the others think, to try through discussions to elaborate more common views, interpretations of the world. This is something which emerged almost like a consensus. So yes, I think the Emirati participation was a great plus.
Yeah, they've understood the openness, that is the l'esprit of the conference.
Absolutely, absolutely.
And you will keep it, I am sure, this year for the following next edition. We are already looking forward to it.
See, this is the same spirit as it was ever since the inception, since the beginning of this endeavor. And as someone who likes to have a certain spiritual dimension, the spirit, you know, it rises and rises progressively. So yes, you are right, next year will be even better.